Hey, it's Boogie. I played T-Bone on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet On Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss. Dan, how are you?
I'm okay. I really appreciate you reaching out and giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what we saw over the last 2 nights.
Is there anything you'd like to start off with?
Absolutely. Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult, me facing my past behaviors, and I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
Let's talk about the massage.
Okay?
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation.
Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No, and I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever, period, the end, no excuses.
You've written hundreds of episodes. Thousands of jokes have been told.
Yeah.
But currently where we are, some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children. What do you think?
All these jokes that you're speaking of, that the show covered over the past 2 nights, every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny. Okay?
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty.
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience. Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show, just like I would have done 20 years ago or 25 years ago. So if there's anything in a show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it.
So I think it's big for you to say with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem.
Cut it. Cut it. The last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's going to upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV. Why would I ever want to do that?
That makes sense. The thought process from the series is you had the power to just write a joke, and no matter what, it's going on TV. You just had that type of power. Is that true?
The notion that I had the power to just produce whatever I wanted and have it air is completely false. We had executives in LA. We had executives in New York.
So 2 coasts.
2 coasts of approval,
coasts.
yes. And by the way, approval at every stage, really. I'm talking about wardrobe. I'm talking about makeup, sound, sets, dialogue, jokes.
Now, when you say approval, these obviously that's a hierarchy, not your colleagues or people in the room. Okay.
No, not my colleagues. No, these are my bosses. Bosses, and then their bosses, and then their bosses. And they're approving all of this.
Okay.
A D? I've always gotten A's in music. How does a person go from an A to a D?
Happened to me in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we're also shooting it in front of all sorts of adults and caregivers and the set teacher and the families. Everybody's watching it. And if anybody had said anything, hey, we don't like that, that's not appropriate, then it would have been cut out.
Well, something that really kind of bothered me was how they depicted your relationship with the cast.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
Yeah, just me being there, I knew the dynamic was trust. I understood that in situations where they may have had turmoil, whether it be with their families, whether it be other castmates, they came to you.
That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey!
Hi, what's going on here?
Nothing. You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Because we are.
They are. Did you just bark?
No. No, I did not.
I think it's only positive that you are there for people when they need you.
Did she say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary. I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
No, I said nice things about you.
That said, let's talk about some of the things that have just been swirling forever.
Okay.
The darkest part of this series discussed child predators. Now, I want to make sure that we clear a couple of things up. Brian Peck was not hired by you.
No, I did not hire Brian Peck.
This was a Tolan Robbins production?
Yeah, and when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career. I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need?
What do you have there? What does it do?
It propels super right here.
I don't know if people know this, but Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. Would you help me with my speech for the judge?
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
This is serious.
I know. I could give a fuck.